Dan, the Marketing Man Moskal here, and in this video we're talking about some copywriting and selling online. So here's the thing. I grew up the son of a preacher man, and people go and see the minister. They go and see him when their life is a mess, when they have problems, when things aren't going right. And this principle, I know you've heard it said before by probably every single person that teaches copywriting, solve their problems, but realize people are only coming to you when they have problems. And one of the things, you have to take this approach, especially when it comes to copywriting and especially when it comes to selling, especially through the written word. And if you don't use what I like to call the spirit of adoption, where you don't bring these folks in, your prospects, and really be the Holy Father and bring them in and show them the path, you're going to be incongruent and you're not going to have a chance. They're going to be like, what the heck's going on here? You're not going to make any sales. You really want, and for the right prospect, keep that in mind. We kind of assume that you cannot sell to everybody. That's like the earliest rookie mistake. In case you're new, please have some reasonable expectations. And the more you know about your customer, you've heard this before, but I was talking to somebody just the other day and I was like, dude, go and look at these things to find out some more. There's a guy I was consulting with, you have to know these, and his response was, I already know what they want. That may be, but the more time you spend with them, the more you can understand what they want, the more you can understand why they want it, and more so, how that will change and transform, and the more solution, the more answers you can give them, the better you can convert. Remember, copywriting, especially online, especially if it's like sales letters, we're just playing small ball here, just like Ray Tanner. Aim for a grand slam, but dude, if you hit a single, awesome. That's a system, that's a process. Leave it in place and go build about 6 more. Because the only guy that gets rich overnight is the lottery winner, and he's not going to hold on to that money very long. So please remember, small ball's awesome. Let's get a whole bunch of singles so we can win the game and win the national championship. It's not about just hitting home runs. And remember, the people, and especially this is true with leads, especially if you're trying to pursue some leads, they only have those problems and they're only concerned with solving those problems, even if it's buying a new car, for, about 90 days. Some people will solve them instantly. Some people will try and find some solutions and get frustrated. But, people aren't going to just live with these problems for very long. It's just not the way it works. Typically, generally speaking, your lead's going to be hot for about 90 days. So really hit, and the more pain points you can, here's one thing I like to say. The less I know, the more I learn. The more I learn, the more I earn. This is Dan, the Marketing Man Moskal, and while the talking heads on TV and the politicians have been banging their drum about our Great Recession, as a college dropout, I've climbed up to earn huge sums of money working from home all during our Great Recession. You may have even seen me appear on national TV. I've been on ESPN, MTV, A&E, Comedy Central, to name but a few. Written 7 books now, including The Magical Message of Success, available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iTunes, on the Kindle, and in audio book. Please visit the link in the description below. Check out an article at our website, danmoskaluniversity.com. We're currently just giving away a free report. Please like this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and become one of our congregation. Have a fantastic afternoon and looking forward to talking to you again here soon.